Hello, everyone, and welcome to the National Inventor Club. It is October 2024. Boy, the time is moving quickly. We're almost towards the end of the year. Have you reached your goals? Have you done what you wanted to with your invention, with your startup as an entrepreneur? Well, National Inventor Club is here to give you the information to keep you moving forward with your big ideas. We have a great lineup tonight. Our main guest speaker is Dominick from retailwire.com. So anything that really comes across, any kind of news that's going on in retail, Dominick and Retail Wire, it goes through. And obviously, with that kind of knowledge and wisdom, Dominick can share his experiences of the retail world with us this evening. So let's start off. We have some amazing intro guest speakers. We first have Betsy Dogert. She is from SCORE. Welcome to National Inventor Club.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. And
Great. So, Betsy, what we do, and this is your first time here, shout out to Candace and to Bridget. Say hello to them for us. And what we do in the beginning of our meetings is we have some amazing guest speakers that come on and give some tips and advice, maybe some announcements that we can use to help us with our inventions, with our business. So, Betsy, you're from SCORE. And SCORE, if you could just tell us a little bit about SCORE.
yeah, absolutely. So, for those who haven't heard of us, SCORE is a resource partner of the US Small Business Administration. We were founded all the way back in 1964 by a group of, at the time, retired business executives who wanted to give back to small businesses in their area. Since then, we have grown to a group of 10,000 volunteers all across the country, no longer all retired. About half are now retired, half are still working as experienced business executives and small business owners. And what we do at SCORE through that amazing mentoring volunteer corps of 10,000 volunteers is we provide free expert mentoring for your small business, as well as free and low cost educational services for businesses.
Great.
These can all be accessed through our website at score.org.
And it's all free. So if you're looking for a mentor, you're looking to establish your business, SCORE has a mentor for you. So Betsy, if you can share with us some tips and advice to keep us moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I did want to quickly touch on what you said about it is free. Sometimes people are a little suspicious of that. They wonder, why is it free? Is part of it free? And then later there's going to be a cost for more mentoring. And I wanted to just address that right up front by saying that our mentoring services are free because they are already prepaid by you with your tax dollars. This is a service provided to help small businesses by the federal government. And so, no, there will never be a charge for mentoring. There is occasionally a small cost for workshops, things like that, maybe $25, $30 to cover materials. But that is the answer about why this amazing resource is free to you to use. And to answer your question about a great tip for everyone on the meeting tonight, I would say the biggest tip that I would love to leave all of you with is to not try to do everything by yourself. To know that you don't have to do this alone. You probably got into this line of work, your invention, your small business ownership, because you're passionate about what you do and you're an expert in your field. And that's amazing. That is exactly what we want to see and help promote. But that doesn't mean that you're an expert in all aspects of business ownership. And so a lot of times that can catch people off guard, having to be an expert now all across the board to make your business successful with staffing up or licensure or insurance or patent and trademarking. I mean, there are so many different aspects required to successfully run a business. And I think it can get very overwhelming for people very quickly. So instead of trying to be an expert in all of those areas, tap into available expert resources for you, including SCORE and the other SBA resource partners like the SBDC, who's also on the call tonight, and the Veterans Business Outreach Centers and the Women's Business Outreach Centers are also great resources available to you.
Thank you so much, Betsy. We appreciate you joining us with tips and advice. And yes, it can get overwhelming. And that's why we have National Inventor Club, we have SCORE, we have all these amazing organizations that are available to you to give you the information and resources to work on just being able to build what you have in your mind to build. So thank you again. We appreciate you and SCORE, and tell everybody at SCORE we said hello and thank you.
Absolutely, will do. Yeah, best of luck to everyone on the meeting tonight. I would love to see your inventions out in the world. Love to support that.
Thank you. SCORE.org. Thank you, Betsy.
Thanks, Brian.
And by the way, we are live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, in the app. I believe we're also on Instagram and X. So we are definitely making some noise out there. And let's have Ryan Flax. Oh, let's have Ryan up. Hi, Ryan. Ryan is from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. He's the lead administrative patent judge. And very interesting what PTAB does for the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. But Ryan, I know that you have some announcements and you have some tips and advice for us. So thank you for joining us.
Hi, Brian. It's good to see you again, always.
You too.
So who am I? Well, Brian explained that I am a lead administrative patent judge. I work at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and I work in a part of the patent office called PTAB. PTAB stands for the Patent Trial and Appeal Board. So to orient you towards what we do, the PTAB is one of the 4 main business units in the USPTO. It's one of 2 that deals with patent matters. So that's a subject of great interest to this group. The patents group, which is the other one, they're the one that you would most often deal with. That's composed largely of patent examiners. They're in charge of examining patent applications, granting patents. PTAB, where I'm a judge, we're composed mostly of other judges like me, and we review rejections of patent application claims that are made by patent examiners in proceedings that are called ex parte appeals. So these are proceedings that are brought by patent applicants. That would be you in the audience, a patent applicant. We also decide patentability challenges to issued patents. They're brought by third parties in proceedings that we call AIA, that stands for the America Invents Act, trials. Those trials are called inter-party reviews, or IPRs, and PGRs, post-grant reviews. These are proceedings that Congress intended to be an efficient alternative to determining patent validity in federal district court litigation, where a challenge like that to patent validity is a defense to a charge of patent infringement. So that sort of orients you to where I sit at the USPTO and what I do. And as PTAB, we do a lot of things in terms of outreach to the inventor and entrepreneurial and small business organizations out there, a lot of which we've worked with Brian on. And I just want to remind you all, or tell you all, about one of the things we do called PTAB Inventor Hour. PTAB Inventor Hour is a webinar series that we put on monthly that's directed to an audience just like you, where we provide information about patenting, about PTAB, about the USPTO's resources for inventors and small businesses. And we've just had our last episode of 2024. We're going to pick up again in January 2025. But that doesn't mean that you've missed all of our episodes, because every past episode is available at the website uspto.gov/patent/ptab/event/inventor-hour. That's a mouthful. The best way to do that is just to search for Inventor Hour when you go to the USPTO website.
Thank you very much, Ryan. So when we're filing our application, our patent application, and there may be a chance where we get rejected or objections and we're trying to overcome them, we may be in front of somebody like yourself to explain our situation. Or you also, and I should say, you have pro bono programs that are included within PTAB that we can, as inventors, be able to apply for. And if we qualify, we'd be able to have somebody represent us and kind of plead our case. So, and I know that in your, you mentioned the Inventor Hour, which is fantastic. There's plenty of information in there. I know you have great guests and you have a wealth of information to share with the inventors to know what resources are available. So thank you for what you do, Ryan. We appreciate you and your team. And shout out to everybody from at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. And we will see you again very soon.
I'll look forward to seeing you if you're there on November 15th with the National Inventors Club. I see your poster in the background signed from your last time visiting campus. So
that's right.
Hopefully I'll see you all.
Thank you very much, Ryan. I appreciate it. And what Ryan was speaking about is November 15th, National Inventor Club and the Inventor Smart community are taking a field trip to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office in Alexandria, Virginia. If you're interested in taking a look at the details of it, not to go too deep into them at this moment, but we still have some spots available. All you need to do is just get to Alexandria, Virginia by public transportation, air, car, wherever you are. There's people from all over the country that are coming in. And we have a full day at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office with all kinds of activities that they've prepared for us. You can go to inventorday.com and you could take a look at the information there. And if you're interested, just put your name on and we'll contact you for and provide you the details of the agenda and so forth. So inventorday.com, November 15th, only a couple of weeks away. And a bunch of us are rolling in November 14th. So it would be great if you were there. We will probably have a bit of a get together that evening. So thank you. All right. Let's see if Sonia Smith, she is from the small business. There she is. Hi, Sonia.
Good evening, Brian, and hello to your audience. It's good to see you.
Thank you so much. Sonia Smith, she is from the New York State Small Business Development Center. And we've had many of your colleagues on National Inventor Club, and you're the director. Is that what's your official title there?
I'm the state director of the state organization.
Director.
Correct.
Amazing.
Yes.
So all the small business development centers in New York State, Sonia and her team work diligently in New York, but I know that SBDC, just like it says in your logo, it's America's SBDC. So if you don't mind, if you could tell us about yourself and SBDC and America's SBDC. And I know you have a tip for us this evening to share.
Of course. So thank you, Brian. And of course, it was great to hear a little bit from Betsy from SCORE and from Ryan. As Betsy mentioned, we are one of the 4 resource partners through SBA, the U.S. Small Business Administration. So SCORE, Small Business Development Centers, Women's Business Centers, and the Veteran Business Outreach Centers all have a special mandate of working with small businesses across the country. With the New York Small Business Development Center, we are one of 63 networks. So we are a national program similar to SCORE and the other 3 resource partners of the 4. With that being said, each state and U.S. territory has an SBDC. In the state of New York, I have 20 service centers that work directly with our business owners and our entrepreneurs. And of course, inventors are a part of that. And with that being said, we provide no-cost technical assistance. So what that entails is one-on-one advisement, customized training, and educational programming. And the third component of that is market research. My 20 centers are hosted by institutions of higher education, so through CUNY, SUNY, and 2 privates, Columbia and Pace University. So with that, across the country, the SBDCs tap into the talent and the pipeline of faculty and students on the academic side, but also working with the different departments on those campuses, as well as my expert advisors. So I have about 180 advisors or staff, I would say complete staff members across the state that do the gamut or run the gamut of working with small business owners and entrepreneurs across the state. We serve all 62 counties of New York. And with that, as I mentioned, on not only the advisement side, but funding resources. So we will help you identify financing options, assist with your loan applications, as well as looking at any areas for venture capitalists. expert in specialized areas. I mentioned the market research aspect because those are resources and tools that are costly to business owners and inventors, but we have the access to those through our institutions of higher education or through my 4 professional research librarians. International trade, as well as government procurement if you're looking to scale your business. So we have specialized programs there. And then on the aspect of networking with partners, so it is a public-private partnership, so not just the government part of federal, state, and local government, but also the institutions that we partner with, as well as private institutions, and then professional services like Brian's network or any other network where there's attorneys, CPAs, insurance, permits from the local government. And then we also partner with entities like USPTO or SCORE or Women's Business Center. We are here to build an ecosystem for support and not to be and to help develop that one-stop shop. One resource is not a one-size-fits-all, so we're here to be a part of the solution and be complementary to any of our private or public partners. So that's a little bit about the SBDC and what we do.
Thank you so much. And how much does that all cost, Sonia?
It's similar to what Betsy mentioned. This is your taxpayer dollars. It is a government program through the U.S. Small Business Administration. Some of our educational programming, as she's mentioned, have a cost to it because of materials and or travel to those locations. We try to serve all of our underserved communities, both urban and rural. So especially if we're doing rural outreach, there is a cost to educational programming, but it's a nominal fee or it can be waived if there's an issue.
Understood. I know somebody, I think Jacob Lopez asked, do you help with grant writing? So I know that, yep.
Yes, we do not help with grant writing in the sense of any grants per se. We work directly with SBIR, so the Small Business Innovation Resource Grants, as well as STTR, and those are the technology grants. So we do have a technology hub of some advisors. Binghamton University is one of my centers in Central New York. And I have about 5 other that really help on the on the research development types of grants for commercialization.
Great. So if you're looking for business plan templates or to help to sit down and kind of navigate what your business idea might be, you have Small Business Development Center in New York with Sonia and her team, but you also have America's Small Business Development Center, and the website for that, Sonia, is?
So for our organization, it's nysbdc.org. And then if you also Googled America's SBDC, that is the actual association. So if you go onto the association's page, you will see and be able to search for a location across the country for your local SBDC.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sonia, for your time this evening. And look forward to doing much more with New York State Small Business Development Center. You can find an SBDC somewhere in your area on a campus. All you have to do is look it up, and you have access to Sonia and the other colleagues at America's SBDC. You have SCORE mentors that we mentioned, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. There are so many resources that are free for us. We need to take advantage. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you again soon, Sonia.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Okay. So let's have one of our sponsors, Justin Chen. He is from PICFU. Thank you for your support to National Inventor Club and the Inventor Smart Community app, which, for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, yes, we have an app. National Inventor Club is within the Inventor Smart Community app. You can download it on Google Play or Apple App Store. We have sponsors. Justin is the one that's on call tonight, but we do thank the Patent Professor. Fiverr is one of our sponsors, Prototype House. We have some other sponsors. You could take a look at our website when you're in National Inventor Club or the Inventor Smart Community app. You'll see our sponsors around the platform. So thank you, Justin. And you have a very interesting business that was an idea, an invention that turned into something much bigger. So if you can introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about PickFu, and I know you have a great tip for us.
Sure. Thanks, Brian. So PickFu is a consumer research platform that lets you instantly crowdsource feedback on your product ideas, designs, logos, or marketing creatives, all within a matter of minutes. So basically, we have a panel of millions of US consumers who will tell you what they like or dislike about your product design, or help you choose which logo is better. And it all starts at $1 per response. So 15 responses, $15. So it's super accessible. Basically, you ask a simple question, upload a creative or two, choose your audience, and then we're going to go out, we're going to find your target audience. We're going to incentivize them to respond and make sure they give stellar written responses. And it's super quick. So if you've ever tried it, within a matter of minutes, you'll start seeing responses come through. And to Brian's point, this is a thing that my co-founder and I invented when we were building a different business. We were trying to get feedback on a website redesign, and we didn't find the solution that suited our needs. So we built PickFu out of our own need. So the tip I have for you guys today is to test your product packaging and to make sure that it stands out, either on shelves or online, and really make sure that it communicates your product's value. I think as inventors, we often focus so much on the product itself, but packaging is critically important in terms of attracting customers and conveying key information. So before you go to print your packaging, make sure you use something like PickFu to test different packaging designs and see which ones really catch your consumers' eyes, and more importantly, effectively communicate your product's benefits. So the way you do that on PickFu is you start a survey. You create 2 or 3 different packaging designs for your product, vary the color scheme, the layout, the font, the points that you want to make on it. Put those all on PickFu, and then you ask them which packaging design that they prefer. Within a matter of minutes, you'll get those responses, and you could read through all those written responses to understand why they like certain designs and see how you can improve them in the next round of iteration. So with this approach, you'll create more appealing packaging that not only looks great, but more effectively communicates your product's unique selling points. And we do have a coupon for the community, which is coupon code INVENTOR for 50% off your first poll.
And we also just put in the chat the link that has the instant coupon code to it.
Oh.
So I've used your platform. I have a couple new businesses that are coming out for inventors in the next few weeks, and I wasn't sure which logo I liked better. And I know I can ask my friends and family, but I wanted something different. So here comes PickFu. I put my logos up, and sure enough, there were instantly people that were responding, giving me their true opinion, no holds barred.
Yeah,
They
they don't
just
hold
told me
back.
like it is, and you can make it so it's specific, or you can keep it open to get the people to respond, and it helped me to make a better decision. I know that Dominick, our guest speaker in a little while, is very active with retail. So you mentioned packaging. So there could be companies that maybe they're just in the boardroom trying to figure out what their design is, and they're not sure, and they could put it on PickFu and get the answer. And it is confidential. They all sign non-disclosure agreements, and you could get information to make better decisions, like I mentioned. So thank you so much, Justin, for being a sponsor with us. And we will see you again next time with another tip.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you. See you soon. Okay, let's have a quick intro to Aisha McCain. She is one of our newest premium subscribers in the Inventor Smart Community app. Aisha, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And hopefully you're not driving there. I see the car. It's just your phone moving around. But if you could just introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you're from, and if you have your idea protected, just a quick intro on what you're up to. And then everybody gets to introduce themselves and connect with you and continue the conversation in the Inventor Smart Community app. So go ahead, Aisha.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. My name is Aisha McCain. I'm from San Francisco. I'm not driving. I pulled over. I I'm still in San Francisco. I'm the founder and CEO of Casual Recovery Enterprises. I am a 3-time cancer survivor. I am a patient turned medical device inventor. Um, and we have products spanning post-surgical, wound care, and respiratory devices. Our first product that we're bringing to market is a post-surgical garment for Jackson Pratt drains. A quarter of all surgeries require drains, and the current standard of care is a safety pin. So we've revolutionized the standard of care. We're FDA registered, we are insurance reimbursable, and we have a survey and beta testing done at UCSF Hospital. So we're raising our seed round and we're going to market with that. We have 6 patents issued and 12 pending in the US and internationally.
Wow. Amazing.
Thank
Congratulations. I know you have a lot more that you want to go, but you've accomplished so much, especially personally. And we
you.
appreciate you, and we will continue our conversations with you in the Inventor Smart Community app. Thank you for being a premium subscriber. These
Of
are one of the
course.
benefits that you get to be on National Inventor Club live stream and share your story. We also have inventor showcases. The last one we did was Inventors Got Talent. That was a lot of fun, and you're entitled to different discounts and opportunities within the platform. So thank you again for your support,
Awesome.
and we'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for
Thank you.
having me. Okay.
Thank you. All right, here we are. Let's have Dominick Miserandino.
Hello, good to see you.
Hello, hi. How you doing, Dominick? He's the
Doing well, doing well.
CEO of RetailWire.com, and I know that he's live streaming also in his LinkedIn feed.
Yes, I
So
am.
welcome and shout out to your group and your community. We appreciate all of you, and I know that many of them are very active in the retail space.
Yes,
So
correct.
Dominick, I know that it took a little while to get hold of you. I stuck with you just like a New Yorker does, right? Go Yankees! If there's Yankee fans out there tonight. But Dominick, thank you so much for joining us. If you can start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and about Retail Wire.
Absolutely. I've been in the media space for about 30 years, more so on the mainstream media side. I came into Retail Wire about a year ago, but I'm not unfamiliar with the retail space. When I was on the media side, I was advising retail brands because they were approaching me for media coverage. How do I get media coverage? How do you reach out? I probably actually worked with about at least 100 to 150 startups trying to get them to the next level. And that's why, thankfully, I have 1 or 2 followers on LinkedIn. It's now like 30,000 plus. Retail Wire covers retail news every day. And the bread and butter is people signing up and getting more exposure in this retail industry.
So
that's a
if I
brief
go
overview.
if I go on retailwire.com, and I could put it up here also, I'll tee it up in a moment, but you can see all the information going on. There's a new drink at KFC, some cranberry drink. There's Target is connecting up with another retailer to do something else. Bed Bath & Beyond is teaming up with a couple retailers to get back into retail, almost like pop-up type of stores. There's so much information, but you know what I love about it, Dominick? Sometimes I find that there's buyers in your stories or referencing of buyers, and I kind of pick those out to possibly look into who might be somebody that I might want to pitch one day. But just
and that's really the secret, though. Being in the know allows you to make better educated decisions on who to network with. Absolutely. You know, I think having the 30,000 connections I have on LinkedIn, for example, is more reflective of people who reach out. I'm thankful for everyone who's connected. I couldn't connect with that on their own. And you have to always, especially in this community, reach out, connect, make the connections with people you want to get to know. And taking that first step is so vital, especially in your community.
Dominick, you've been traveling for quite a bit. And like I said, it was tough getting a hold of you. I stuck with it. You said, call me. I stuck with you and I
Every
got
2
you
weeks
on
I've
here.
been going. That's true.
Right. So tell us a little bit about that, because for example, on LinkedIn, where you have a great following, people see all the different places that you've been going. We see pictures of you and all the amazing things that
Yeah,
you're putting out there. What are you doing?
yeah, I've been going to conferences every 2 weeks. I mentioned, for example, connecting on LinkedIn or connecting with people, especially in your community, but it's also connecting in person. I am lucky to have the opportunity to speak on stage and meet with people such as yourself. I think, Brian, you and I met for the first time in person at a dinner I had in New York City, beginning of September. I am a very big advocate, having worked, thank you for sharing the link, by the way, in the chat, but having worked in media so long, I'm very thankful to that lesson that you still need to, even though you're in the digital space, you still need to connect as humans. And I actually, you can see on my wall, I was very lucky to present on rebranding and personal branding and connecting as a human. And it's something I guess I've been very fortunate and lucky to work on over the years. It's just really, I think we get lost in our digital space where you think you make the best product and you're going to put it out there and the universe is going to knock down your door. It's also people. You have to make sure you really work with people as much as you can.
Dominick, there are inventors, entrepreneurs, startups. Your audience is listening and watching this evening. We are at all different stages of our inventions. Some of us have an idea in our head. It could be a business. It could be an invention, a product. And we're all striving to get it to market, whether it's licensing to earn royalties and kind of going through that route of a manufacturer with distribution, kind of putting it out there and us earning royalties. Or we say, you know what? We want to be that entrepreneur, that startup, to maybe start off with our first product and manufacture it. And our goal and our dreams and ambition is to get it out into retail. Now, retail says a lot these days, right? There's so many different variations of what retail might mean. Maybe you can give us some behind the scenes, kind of like a state of what retail is, because I know that sometimes retail is on the way up, and sometimes it's sideways, and sometimes it's down, and we've seen many retailers kind of go sideways. So maybe if you can give us just some kind of understanding of what's happening, the lay of the landscape these days.
Well, it's a very broad question, of course, but what I think the trend has been in especially the past 20 years, individual brands have the ability to become standalone. That is, I can think of a few inventors probably on this call. They've made brilliant products, and maybe they didn't get it into whatever store they wanted to get it into to sell, but they've sold it directly. I have one company I'm dealing with now, and she invented a wonderful food spice, but she can do it. She can get it to the consumer directly through her own site. And then we look at, getting it on the shelves, almost like it's been reversed. So I think the diversity of the market allows for that. I recently run into a few people in the retail space who've launched their products via social media, going on TikTok Live, and they've succeeded quite well with that. So I think the biggest trend lately is that diversity of introducing something to the market in general.
And you kind of touched on something, because for us as inventors, I remember knocking on the door at Bed Bath & Beyond, for example, and other retailers, and I would go with my invention, and they'd say, Brian, maybe I bring 6 with me, and whether they're my own or other inventors, and I'd be in front of the buyers, and they'd be like, you know what, this one, yes, maybe, but we have to talk again in 6 months. This one, no. This one, I'm not sure. At the end of the day, I had one, and they'd be like, Brian, you know what? We love you. We love your product, but you have one product. It's kind of tough for us to, Gary, this one, go to them and maybe add it to their product line. See if they'll do a deal. Say, we'll do a test. So you're saying that these days we don't necessarily have to be in a big box retailer. We can
It's
be
great, but yes, you
direct.
could be on your own. I think your own standalone also could become that proof of concept. You might have gone there and said, here's the 6 products to choose from. Do you want 1, 2, 3, and 4? But now you can say, I have this built-in audience of XYZ, and my audience loves the blue greater than the purple. So I think you should have it on your shelves specifically because of that. That's where I think the market has changed, that more and more you can create your own audience. And it doesn't have to be to the scale you'll see on Shark Tank or the whatnot, but enough to show I made this invention, people love it, and here's the proof that people love it. It's greater than just friends and family at this point. It's greater than just grandma. Everyone loves it, and here's the sales and the comments, etc. I see that in a microcosm, and anyone can see it. If you go to LinkedIn, and you'll see people will look at the comments or look at personal reviews. I've had people reach out to me every day saying, I looked at your LinkedIn, and what to me the takeaway is, though, they'll say, I've seen media clips with you, and I've seen this with you. Can I talk to you? So you can put it all out there, which, Brian, when you were starting out only about a year or two ago, when you were 22 years old as opposed to now, it was a different world. You had to go out to the buyers, etc. And I think now the most wonderful thing on retail, especially social media, creating your own audience. I'm not saying it's, you don't want to have the shops. You absolutely do, but it's an additional step that came into the process that made it much easier if you want to stand on that step and say, let me show everyone how this product works.
It's interesting because we have e-tail. So we have Amazon and Walmart.com, and you could do Lowe's and Walmart and Home Depot.com. There's all these .com, these e-tailers. There's actually getting on the shelf in the retail stores. And then what you mentioned is selling direct. You can sell it right on your website, social media, drive traffic to wherever you want and be able to sell it. And like you mentioned, look, for me, Dominick, when I see somebody using my product for the reason I came up with it, that's my goal. And you said it's beyond your friends and family. Now there's other people using it. Whether you sell one or you sell a gazillion of them,
it feels great, doesn't it?
It feels great. It really does.
And that's what I think is the power and the evolution. It used to be in the box stores, and that's wonderful. And now I think we've had that additionally too. There's actually someone I've been watching on TikTok, and I love that she just goes to the stores, looks at the shelves, does it live, interacts with the customers. And I think that's truly wonderful. But also, I think it's resetting your goals. And you hit the nail on the head, Brian, when you said it's a wonderful feeling when someone sees that product. You don't have to have the goal. You're not a failure if you're not into Walmart by next Tuesday selling 50 million units. If you can get it to that next step, appreciate and love that next step. That's a wonderful feeling. Maybe you sell greater than the friends and family and grandma, and that's wonderful to see people using your product. And that's why I think is wonderful about where retail is right now. There is that road avenue. I said before step, but to really qualify is just another road that can get you there, possibly quicker or a different way.
All these retailers and news that's coming out in your world is going through retailwire.com.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit, as inventors and entrepreneurs that are out there, what do you feel like, what categories, what industries are hot, and what should we stay away from? What do you think, like, you've seen really active and you're like, oh my gosh, retail is like being direct is one thing, automotive, hardware, the general merchandise?
$1 million question. And the answer to that, unfortunately, is my opinion. When you see it to be hot, you might be too late. I was at NRF this past January, and everyone was talking about AI, of course. AI. And that has been the conversation of the year, but does it get too late? 2 years ago, it was Bitcoin all the time. Not necessarily retail, but you'll pay for your socks at the Gap with Bitcoin was the theory, etc. We always have that. I think the question to me is not so much what is hot or predictive, because it's very hard to be predictive. What do you love? Follow what you love. And I think, Brian, I just love the quote you said earlier, the joy you feel when you've created something and people see it. Well, if you create something and you sell units and you're doing well on it, maybe not selling 1 million, you didn't find the hot thing, you're going to be happy. If you sell that product that you put your heart into, you're going to be so much happier than if you search for that thing that's hot. Maybe finding that thing that's hot, you might find it. You probably, it's probably the same as I would equate of catching a wave on the ocean, and you only notice it when the wave's right in front of your face and you can't really catch it in time. That said, if you do something that is to your soul and to your core, you're wonderful. Life is beautiful for you. And I think that's a success in and of itself. Maybe the metric of success is getting your invented product out there for the person to see. And that's the bar more than how many units you sold on Tuesday.
You definitely have the pulse. You have what's going on a daily basis.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Anything that's coming out in retail comes across Retail Wire. I don't think you've missed much, because I'm in a few different places and it's all coming through your network there and your platform. Dominick, I see in your title, and we didn't get too deep into your background, but I know that you're an entrepreneur. You work with businesses and marketing. And look, you're talking to a whole community of inventors and entrepreneur, the mindset. So many of us are thinking about our idea, our product, our business. We want to build it. What is your take about starting an idea and turning it into a business? Because you've seen many of them grow. You've seen some of them be successful and some of them maybe go sideways or not go at all. Give us some words of wisdom, some advice here.
Well, I heard it from one of the speakers earlier, and running a business is requiring one to be multifaceted, and she provides the mentoring. I forgot which speaker mentioned that quote, and I apologize on that. There's a truth where I find the success becomes they follow that dream, and to make it a business is a different skill, because you have to know merchandising and legal and staffing and tech and everything under the sun. I think it's also acknowledging what you're good at and partnering with people. Brian, you're an inventor, and that's wonderful. You being an inventor allows you to. I see we have an ad right there. That's
we got it. Should I click on it so you earn a
close it off? Yeah. So now we can see the page completely. All right. So there's our discussion articles, for example. Yeah. Scroll down, you'll see the content itself, give you a better view. And those are all the discussion articles where our brain trust is making the comments. But yeah, to go back to the question, I think in building any business, you just have to be aware and conscious how the mechanisms that make a business work. What are all those mechanisms? You being an inventor, maybe you have to then pull in someone who knows how businesses work and connect those dots.
It's a journey.
Yes.
And some of us make it and some of us don't. And it's not that we necessarily fail or we quit. We learn our lessons to find a way to maybe do it better next time, or to keep our money and our time and effort and energy in our pockets. So
that's why I changed that question you gave me in terms of what's the trend, because the success and failure, if you're following your passion, you've succeeded. Don't make the success and failure necessarily based on that I'm going to sell 1 billion units in Walmart. Generally speaking, not many people do that. But that said, to invent something that means the world to you, that's incredible. That's something I envy. That's amazing.
When people come to you, Dominick.
Yes, sir.
And they say, I have an idea, I have a business idea, I have a product idea, and I want to build a business around it. With your marketing experience and your advice, seeing things through, give us kind of some steps of what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And afterwards, I want to pick your brain a little bit on the marketing side, because there's so many people that are kind of positioning themselves and the way that they present themselves out there. But let's maybe start off with kind of, what's your take on setting up a business with your idea?
Well, first of all, setting up a business is the means of distributing that idea. Let's call it like it is. It's the means of distribution, sale, etc. Did I lose you there, my friend, or am I just full screen right now? Did I lose you for a second?
I'm good. I lost myself for a second.
Yeah, well, that happens existentially, existential. When you have a business, it is that creation of that mechanism to get that product out there. And you have to consider in that mechanism all the pieces to it, social media and tech. And then sometimes I just tell people, let's look at each of those pieces of that puzzle. How are you going to get out there? How are you going to create it? And it's so wonderful that you can start your business online. I mean, almost anyone can make a Shopify site. They might not have it ready for a gajillion units tomorrow, but they certainly will get an idea. YouTube is a wonderful resource. What I do is I have people, I help them connect all the dots and take all those pieces together. But the first thing I kind of do is say to them, get your feet wet, get started and seeing what's happening, but just be conscious that just because you have that idea, that's different than the delivery vehicle that is a business.
How do you feel, or do you know, just from speaking to buyers and being involved in the retail space, when an inventor comes to them, or we're trying to reach out to get our product on the shelf, do you have any experience just kind of hearing behind the scenes what it's like to have one product and trying to get on the shelves?
It is, I have a little bit, and it's a journey. It's an experience. It's a process in and of itself. I know people who specialize in just that. They know how such and such likes to see their product presented versus A, B, and C likes to see their product presented. I've seen people do studies on whether it should be priced at $4.99 versus $5.25 and whatever price point it should be. That's kind of why especially for this audience, these are people who are creating, inventing, where I'm assuming a majority of the audience is in the process of creation as opposed to 5 million units sold yesterday. And given that, that's why I think it's wonderful to take advantage of these mechanisms to help give yourself that proof of concept right out of the gate.
We have a few ways that we can potentially get into retail. So we can go direct and try to knock on the door of the buyer. There's also reps, manufacturers reps, sales reps that are out there.
Yep.
And then there's many of us, Dominic, that say, you know what, I'm going to find myself an influencer and they're going to take me to the next level. Maybe you can, from a marketing perspective, if you can share some thoughts on that. But what's your take on us finding a manufacturer's rep?
That you have to know the right person. It does take the research. It does take the understanding of that. But, it's wonderful. A lot of people, I know when I have people reach out to me all the time, it's wonderful to get that outreach. Do not be scared. You have this magical, wonderful vehicle called LinkedIn, and it allows you to connect with every rep there is. Just press the button. I love sometimes it's even, you could see immediately that effect. You can go and say, what are they doing? Who are they saying? What are they posting? What are they interested in? The influencer is a totally different angle. That's a whole different marketing question. And one of which I think influencer in general is very hyped. And it's really just on all things, just do your research and know who you're targeting and where. If you are inventing something for horses and there's a horse influencer, you're in the right neck of the woods. Just jumping on to that audience might not give you that success, even if they're the biggest influencers in the world. I know for myself, once I hit 30,000 followers on LinkedIn, oh my gosh, you're an influencer now. And if I told you some of the stuff people reach out to for me, I'm saying, I can't help you there. I'm not going to help sell your X, Y, and Z. I appreciate it, but that's not that audience. And you just have to be aware of that, I think.
In one of our chats that we had, Dominic, and it kind of brought me to mind, one of the inventors that I'm working with on manufacturing, every time we're almost ready to push the button to manufacture, he's saying, no, one more thing I want to change, I want to add. And I remember our conversation where we were talking about proof of concept. Maybe you can give us some tips and advice on that to the audience, because we're working so hard to get exactly what it needs to be. And I understand for manufacturing, you want it to be, and there could be other iterations later on, but how important is it to have a proof of concept to start?
I mean, it's funny because they're both important. I'm describing, of course, get that proof of concept. Does that mean it's not important just to get it exactly right? Of course not. On all things in life, it's balance. I have someone I work with who's brilliant at all those details. I wish I was, I wish I personally was, but I have to turn to them for that and say, can you check this again? Can you check this a third, fourth, fifth time? And without that, it doesn't succeed. I think there is something to be said for that proof of concept, showing the audience, showing the social audience going crazy for it. And there's something to be said for that inventor who is triple checking his work 75 times. That said, when you're all flash with the audience and not necessarily having a great product, or the reverse, you have the most brilliant product but 0 degree of that, none of that works either. It's finding that right balance and where it is on the scale. It's not a perfect balance at times. Sometimes certain products can be more hype than not. I frequently will at lectures bring up how we will sometimes even love fast food chains that might not be the healthiest for you, but they're so good at getting that marketing out. So the product might not really help you lower your cholesterol anytime soon, but the marketing gets that message out clearly. This is what's going to make you feel good and happy. It's a balance, though, of what's necessary for your particular product, your particular invention to get it all out there.
I'm working on one of my inventions, and I have 7 prototypes. And it's not because I don't love how it looks, but how it works. It's important for it to work, right? Otherwise, I'm going to get returns. Or if I'm going to pitch it to a potential licensee, they're probably going to want to know that I put the time in to make it work. What we're talking about also is, if you are going to manufacture your product, the more widgets that you put on, it's probably going to make the cost much higher. And you have to balance between what the consumer is going to appreciate as the price, right? Otherwise, you might price yourself out of the market.
Well, and it's also sometimes it is an evolution. I've been in the media space. I've created many sites. I want to say the Celebrity Cafe, the first site I was known for, was a rather big publication. I might have been the 7th or 8th site that I worked on. After that, there was probably 25 or 30 that came out in fruition. During COVID, I got bored one night and I launched a few sites just to see what else. That's okay. So if you're making, you mentioned 7 iterations. Maybe you launch the first iteration, say this is beta, prototype, or Kickstarter is wonderful for these kind of things. I'm putting this on Kickstarter. It's kind of that alpha version. We know what it is. It's not going to have all the features, but I really want to hear the feedback from you, the consumer. And I'm going to sell it barely a cost, so to speak, just to get that feedback loop back to me.
Yep. Do you feel like, and Ms. Donna Speaks, or Ms. Donna Speaks, asks a question, what about concentrating on licensing? So Dominic, we're inventors. We came up with this great idea. We might not necessarily be into this whole retail thing of production and getting into retail and putting things up for sale. So we might find a company that manufactures already, has distribution in the retail stores that we envision our idea in.
Yep.
What's your take on us, whether to license it to earn royalties or to manufacture it and start a business ourselves?
Well, and that's where I think it's so vital to know why you're doing what you're doing. I keep on pulling it back, Brian, to what you're doing. You're doing it to make you happy, the satisfaction of creation. I don't think if I was advising you, I would recommend you, Brian, possibly lean towards licensing because you like seeing it, you like touching it. And if someone else is controlling it, it'd probably drive you mad in a way. But maybe someone else just wants to get that idea out there as quick as possible. Different mindset again. It's just really, to me, knowing exactly what your strengths are and why you're doing what you're doing. And that's so vital.
Makes sense.
Oh, we have another question, I see. Yeah.
We do. We have a lot of questions.
I like questions.
I want to just touch on this, Dominick. So we started off by saying, you know what? We're an inventor. We have one product. We're manufacturing, or maybe we're even licensing, and we're have new products that are coming out that might be complementary to the first one. Or like Sean, I think she's the one that asked the question on LinkedIn there. But so, for example, Sean came up with an invention, and it's a cover for utensils. And besides just people coming to her website directly with all her marketing to go right to her website and see the one product, she's now incorporated more commodity type, generic type of products that exist. So
Brilliant.
when somebody goes on to buy her product, maybe they'll add something else, or maybe they chose not to buy her product. She still captured them to be able to earn. What's your take on building a brand that way?
I love it. I totally love it. I think there is something to be said to being fluid in any business. I had the celebritycafe.com as an example, and someone called me and said, do you know any mommy blogs? And I, at the time I didn't. That was a Thursday night. By this Monday morning, we launched an entire parenting site on the side. I got the team together. We worked all weekend, and there we go. It's vital at times to follow what your instinct is. I think you have to be aware of the market. You have to be aware of who you are, your strengths, your what affects you. So I think that is absolutely brilliant when you're seeing something occurring in the market to say, let me readapt to that. That is critical because you're getting a feedback loop from just the internet in general that is so rapid. And you shouldn't be scared to take that data and say, maybe I need to change it. Maybe, Brian, you think you invented the best thing and everyone's saying, I need it for this. There's been so many stories of people creating inventions and some other use coming out of that initial purpose, and that's not a negative, that's a positive. We might not in particular have that intention, but it's okay to learn quickly. That's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely. It's a point that when I have a chance to speak to inventors and we came up with an idea for some specific niche, and when we look at it a little bit differently, you can find a way to actually expand your window of opportunity to possibly open it up where, what you came up with, maybe it was for that specific purpose or need. Maybe that's fourth on your list, but maybe you turned it into a mass market opportunity where your priority is number one. Maybe it's for kitchen. Everybody has a kitchen, but they might not necessarily go out and play golf. So
100%.
Right? Kind of gauging where you're at.
Wonderful. Again, it's truly, I don't think there's a negative. Sometimes we always assume that if our first idea does not work to our first intention, there's a failure. And I would argue, no, you might learn something on the way and learn that your first idea should change and vary and grow. And it's okay. And certainly things I created over the years, 20 years ago, I'm glad I learned different now. And I'm glad I would do things differently now than I would have done back then.
You're on the road quite a bit, and the last couple of events that you've gone to, I've had a chance to take a peek and listen to some of what you've been doing. What what are some advice? What advice can you give us from just being out there in the retail space? Just some final inspirational, just kind of taking what's been out there and what you've been speaking about, and us knowing where we are at all different stages here and kind of putting it together. What are some final inspirational words that you can share with us, Dominick? You've been giving us amazing inspiration the whole way through, but what can you leave us with?
I would say connect and listen. That's it. Connect and listen. Um, every time I know I have a challenge in business or a challenge in something, it's being open to ask for advice, ask for opinion of a mentor, a friend. I've certainly been a mentor, but I have mentors, and I certainly have called. I called a friend this morning, saying I'm losing my mind on XYZ. I need your advice. How can I handle this better? I'm probably not doing it right, and that's why I say it's being connecting and listening, because you also have to be responsive to say, I don't know this and I'm hitting this challenge. How can I learn at this point? So yeah, just connect and listen.
You have a way for us on retailwire.com to subscribe, right?
Yep,
If
go
we're
right
in,
to the site. You'll see a little subscribe to the mailing list
great.
button, and you could subscribe. Absolutely, I love it.
If we're in this space, whether we are going to license or manufacture, it's always good to know what's going on out there in the retail world. Definitely subscribe. Dominick mentioned he's got a very strong network on LinkedIn. So if you're not already connected to him, send an invite so you can be connected to his network. And guess who's in his
Absolutely.
network? Retailers, reps, licensees. You'll be able to get into his world there, and you can watch what he's doing and continue to stay in touch with Dominick and retailwire.com.
That is so
And
wonderful.
it would be fantastic. And afterwards, Andy has put the Zoom link, the after meeting networking, in the chat, and you also received it in your email. And Dominick will be joining us in the after meeting. So some of the questions that are coming in from Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and in the Inventor Smart Community app, you're more than welcome to join. So we're going to end this and then go into the Zoom. So Dominick, thank you. We will see you in the Zoom link in a little while. I'd like to just make a quick announcement to the Inventor Smart Community group and the National Inventor Club. So Dominick, I'm going to let you go, and I'll catch you in the Zoom in a few minutes.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you and your amazing knowledge that you share with us this evening.
Thank you, sir. Wonderful. All right.
Thank you. So I mentioned a little bit earlier, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. We are going to Alexandria, Virginia. It is free. You are more than welcome to join us. We have some spots available. The cost, Rosa, is zero. All you need to do is get to Alexandria, Virginia by public transportation, car, airplane. I think it cost me $200 round trip, and the hotel cost me $200. I'm staying overnight. We're going to get together on November 14th in the evening. The November 15th is the event. We have tours of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. We have informational resources. I know they're going to talk about women entrepreneurship, pro bono programs, which is free resources if you qualify. And we're going to be touring the Inventor Hall of Fame. We're going to all be together, and we'll be able to present if we have an invention, if you want to talk general about your invention. But the most important thing is we're getting out there. It's inspirational, and please join us. So if you'd like more information, go to inventorday.com, and you're more than welcome to connect with any other questions. Also, if you're not already in the app, please go to Inventor Smart Community app. You can find it on Google Play or Apple App Store. or you can go to inventorsmart.app. So we would love to see you in the app. It's our very own social media in there. We network, collaborate, communicate with each other, help each other out, promote each other, whatever we need to do. We're a strong community, going strong and continuing to grow, and it's free. We do have premium subscription. You're not obligated. We'd love for you to be premium, but you can come in as a freemium subscriber. So please join us in the Inventor Smart community app. And now let's all hop off and go on to the after meeting networking. We can see Dominick in there, and we can also work to help each other move our ideas again to the next levels and bring our ideas to commercialization. No matter where you are, we all want to help each other out. So we will see you in the Zoom. And until next time, we will see you again. Thank you very much and have a great night.